Hi, I'm Jana, and this is a Real Mom car tour of the 2025 Chevy Tahoe High Country. And in this tour, I'm gonna give you all my driving impressions. I'm gonna tell you what it felt like for me to drive across the state of Texas with my husband, who's 6'4", and my two little boys who are obsessed with technology and they're glued to a screen. And this car has something for everybody. So buckle up and let's do it.
If you're new here, I'm glad you found me. Hi, I'm Jana, and I give Real Mom car tours. I am a boy mom, auto enthusiast, and I'm an Aquarius, which means my life and sometimes these tours are a little bit chaotic, but they are fun. So buckle up and let's get back to it.
If you've watched my channel long enough, you know that I love a truck and I love riding up high. It makes me feel safe, and women get a lot of flack for driving these huge vehicles that people say they can't drive. But I've seen many a tiny lady back a Suburban or a Tahoe into a spot at the grocery store on one try. So I think the reason that we pick big vehicles, and that you might be watching this because you're in the market for a large SUV, there's not that many on the market. If you want a large 3-row SUV, you're looking at the Expedition, the Yukon, Suburban, Tahoe, and there may be one or two out there that I didn't name. That's because I may not like them. But this is the OG family hauler. The Suburban has been around for 100 years, and the Tahoe is like, I don't even want to say little sister because it's not that much smaller. The difference in Tahoe and Suburban is that in the Suburban, which I'll drive one of those and I'll show you that tour later, you're gonna have more cargo area behind the third row if the third row is up. I picked the Tahoe to start out with because this is the car that I would probably buy to drive for my family. I have two boys, they're gonna be tall, but right now they're in elementary school, and we do carpool, which means our third row gets used, let's call it once or twice a week. So it's not every single day, and adults are not riding in the third row. I love sitting up high, I love the handling, and for 2025 you get 3 engine choices, and I will put those on the screen. Look, Mom, no hands. We are in the middle of Texas, and the roadway here is challenging to say the least. It is so bizarre. Lanes just disappear and merge with like no warning. So I've been frazzed, and one of the things I tried immediately was to set my Super Cruise because it works both on huge highways, which I did, and on 2 lanes that just go through the country. And there's so many mapped roads with Super Cruise. So Chevrolet offers Super Cruise as a subscription. Depending on the trim level or the package that you get, Super Cruise can be included for a certain period of time, and then after that it goes to a subscription service. A lot of people don't like that, but hear me out. Instead of having a giant add-on on the front end, what if you only pay for it when you need it? So if you only road trip to grandma's house, you know, November and December, then maybe you only pay for 2 months a year and then don't have Super Cruise the other months of the year. So I like the flexibility of having a subscription because it lets you do you. How to use Super Cruise. I've got it engaged right now. I'm not gonna unengage it because truly I'm exhausted and it's driving for me. This hands-free system will be blue when it's ready. I don't know if you can see this. Can you see that green light? As you know when it's engaged. Blue means it's ready, green means it's fully engaged, and Super Cruise is driving for you. You see it both on the icons here in your digital display, and you can see it in your head-up display. It's a little bit hard to see the green, but up there on the left over the 76, you can see it. Now, see how I just turned red and there are haptics, which means it vibrated my seat? It's because Super Cruise knew I was holding a phone up, didn't like it, and told me to take control, which is fair. So there's a light here. There's also icons on your driver display and the same icons on your head-up display. Can you see the head-up display from your angle? Also the same icons on your head-up display. So when it's blue, it means it's ready to engage, and you use all of your Super Cruise and your adaptive cruise control buttons are here, where you set it, where you toggle it, you set your gap or your distance between you and the car in front of you. And then once it's green, it means it's fully engaged. And fully engaged means you can take your hands off the wheel, take your feet off the pedals, and Super Cruise will speed up, slow down, and change lanes for you. And it doesn't need me to tell it when I want to change lanes. It might do it right now. It just sped up because I had a slow car in front of me that moved out of the way. But if I'm in traffic and it sees better positioning, Super Cruise will change the lane for me. I know that freaks some people out. It takes a hot minute to get used to. The beauty of this hands-free driving assistance feature is not so that you can eat sushi with chopsticks or not pay attention or get your laptop out. It's so that you don't have to be so stressed and gripping the wheel and paying attention, making sure you're not speeding and all of the things. This gives you a little bit of peace of mind, a little bit of support, so that when you get to your destination, you feel a little more refreshed.
Don't worry, I'm still super cruising, but if you're here for drive impressions and you want to know about the V8, I'm gonna get there. Just keep watching.
We are, honey.
But my drive impressions are definitely affected and colored by the ability to use Super Cruise. It made my entire road trip so much more enjoyable. I was so comfortable. I felt, so uncomfortable by the fact I didn't know where I was going, and these Texas roadways are absolutely insane. I'm on a two lane right now. It wasn't always like that. Some of these highways between getting out of Dallas and getting to Fort Worth were just freaking stressful. So, under the hood, I am driving the 6.2 liter V8. There's two other engine options. There's a 5.3 and there's a Duramax turbo diesel. I had a friend driving the 5.3. Said it had plenty of power and they were very happy with how that handled. I wanted the 6.2 because in real life, I like a bigger engine. I like the rumble of the V8. I like the power behind a V8, and I like the instant horsepower and torque that I feel when I hit the gas. But it wasn't a leap in horsepower. It wasn't a leap into getting where I needed to go. It was a smooth acceleration. Everything about it. I hate to see it drives like a Cadillac. They are sister vehicles, so I will say, but it was smooth as silk. And the technology is big for me.
Hey Google, I'm hot.
Maybe you'd like to go swimming.
No, Google, I need more air conditioning. Hey Google, make it colder in here.
Sure, turning down the temperature.
Let's talk parking. I crammed this thing. Look around me. Look through that windshield. I am in the Fort Worth Stockyard gravel parking lot so that we could see the cattle drive. And I had to cram this thing in a space. And the turning radius made it incredibly easy. I did it on one try, no issues. My husband's a big guy. He's 6'4". And we took turns driving, even though he didn't get as many turns as he wanted. He kept saying, "Do you want me to drive so you can film?" And I love driving this car so much. I said, no way. He loved driving the car too. He's 6'4", like I said. Let's call it 220. I don't know how much he weighs. Big dude. He said, this car was made for somebody my size. I have good leg room, good headroom. Hips weren't aching, wasn't hitting his head getting in and out. Everything about positioning he found very comfortable. That's a lot coming from him. He doesn't praise a lot of stuff. So for what it's worth, if you're a bigger guy, he was incredibly happy with the ride and the drive. And he spent a ton of time in the passenger seat because this was meant for me and my drive impressions. But he absolutely loved it. He kept saying, "How much is this? You think Chevy will give you a discount? Will it fit in the garage? Should we sell my car or yours?" So it kind of made me laugh. But I see why he felt that way. We went from highways to 2 lanes, and this 2-lane was rough, but I didn't feel any of it. Because of the suspension in this Tahoe, a lot of people have been asking me how it compares to the new Yukon. Obviously, they're sister vehicles. I haven't had a chance to drive the new Yukon. They are not out for us to drive yet. I will let you know as soon as I drive one. I'm going to assume it's going to be very similar. There's a lot of things very similar. I do want to pop over to the things that I would change in the vehicle. Nothing about the handling, nothing about the driving, nothing about the parking it. All those things I absolutely loved. I'm giving it a 10. I would add middle head restraints in the bench. I would add sunshades to shade those babies in the second row. I would add a car seat tilt. It just helps families so much to get people into the third row when you're using it. I would add ambient lighting because I'm a diva and I love ambient lighting. That might be all I would change, you guys. Everything else was just perfect for my family. So I hope you like this quick tour. I wanted to give you a little bit of a glimpse of the Sky, Texas Hill Country Resort. And of course, I couldn't let you go without showing you one of the very first Suburbans ever made. Suburban is 100 years old, and it walked so everybody else could run. This is the OG family hauler. And this place was amazing. If you make it to Fredericksburg, Texas, which is wine country, I had no idea, definitely check out Sky Country. You can do stargazing, pickleball, there's a beautiful pool, campfires, bonfires. You can pull up an RV, or you can charge your electric car, which is wild. There's tiny houses with lofts so your kids can be upstairs. There are so many things to do, but if you want to unplug, you can do it here too. There's whitetail on the resort, and there are almost 70 antelope that run wild. The owner feeds them every day, and you can actually follow his golf cart out there, and you can watch while he feeds them. There are some huge bucks, and these deer are a lot bigger than we grow them in North Carolina. These Texas deer are no joke. They even let us get pretty close. That's not on a super zoom, but they had just gotten fed, and they really are beautiful. So, from me, my family, the middle of Texas, and the 2025 Chevy Tahoe, I hope you liked this tour. Let me know if you have any questions in the comments. Thanks for watching.